Today we're speaking to an entrepreneur that's got an electrical contracting business. They're scared about borrowing money. They're scared about employing people. Although they've got a pipeline full of work, they've got a mindset issue that's stopping their business going to the next level. In his own words, he just needs to give himself permission to go to the next level. Is this a crossroads that you've faced? Strap yourselves in and listen to the conversation. Hello, campers. Welcome back to the Business Broadcast. I'm James Sinclair, and you are?
I'm James Burt. Do you know what I've never told you?
From James Burt Official on Instagram.
Yeah, it is indeed. Do you know what I like the way you say powerful in that voiceover?
What?
You could join in for this powerful conversation. It sounds so powerful.
There we go.
What do they call it? They call it prophetic fallacy.
Dude,
in movies, like, you know, if the rain or if it's like somber or something sad, they have rain and they have an effect that make you feel an emotion. That's called prophetic fallacy. That is the audio version of prophetic fallacy. Powerful conversation.
Oh, yeah. Let's have
there you go.
Powerful conversation.
We will today. Hey, before
was that a good impression of me?
What, you yourself? Yeah, I thought it was quite good. Before we start today, though.
Yep.
I've got a game.
Come on then.
I've got another feature. Big shout out to one of our listeners who randomly just sent this in to my office and he said, James, I've got a game for you. I've been an avid listener for the Business Broadcast. Lumpy mail. People love lumpy mail, don't they? Didn't you get a lumpy mail?
Why do they not send it into my office? Why do they send it into your office?
Oh, because they probably think that you're going to mug them off because don't you get sent like pretend ice cream vans and stuff? I got a set of cards and got it hyped and you get sent actual... Read it out then. This is why they sent it in to me. He said, I'm an avid listener of the Business Broadcast podcast for many years, and since you joined, it's only got better.
Yeah.
Zoom in on that, chuds. Better. Enclosed, you'll find a game that I thought might support one of the many segments in your jamboree of a podcast, more or less.
Jamboree.
But honestly, this is a shameless letter and
jamboree.
Gift. A shameless letter and gift, hoping to get a small plug on this great podcast. Contact details are below if anyone's looking for an Essex-based, proactive, straight-talking accountant. Well, I'm not going to give out all of your details, but James Bennett, thank you very much for sending in the game. So we're
if anyone else wants to send us in gifts, I like ones that you can fold in half, put in your wallet, and also pay into the bank.
Yeah, lovely. Those are my favourites as well. So we're going to play More or Less.
More or less.
It's a simple game of More or Less. James Sinclair, first question. Is the shortest distance between the USA and Russia more or less than 40 kilometres?
Less than 40 kilometres.
It is indeed. How short a gap do you think it is?
It is very short because there's an island in the middle that is half. There's two islands in the middle of the space of Alaska and Russia, and they are very close. In fact, you can walk over it at certain points when the tide's up or down. I
don't know. So you're just a fountain of knowledge. It is less than 40 kilometres. You are correct. 3.8 kilometres between the USA and Russia. We'll have one more game of this because I think it's just good fun. Have sharks existed for more or less time than trees?
Less.
It is, in fact, more.
I don't believe that.
How could
sharks be around longer than trees?
Sharks are at least 400 million years old and trees are around 350 million years old. We'll have to check. Get James Martin on the phone. Get James Martin. But they'll look at it because of like sediment in rock, won't they?
Right, okay.
So there you go.
Sharks not in their current form. Must be in a different type of shark.
Of course it must be, because it didn't work out for you there, did it? So do whatever you have to do to get an intangible...
Let's have a look at this. So what's the story of this?
Nothing. He just thought it was a good...
Does he make them?
No, he's a bloody bookkeeper. He's from James Bennett. He's a financial advisor. James Bennett Financial.
Oh, so I thought he was promoting his game.
No, he's literally a bookkeeper. He just loves the podcast, and he thought, I'll add another game to the podcast as if you need like another segment. So he said he wants a shameless plug.
Not even his game.
Not even his game. He just thought we should have another game because we love a game on this podcast, don't we?
There we go.
Right, should we play one of our games now?
Yeah, baby.
Time for this. Knock at the door. Time for interesting fact or quote.
Knock at the door. No, not more.
Interesting quote or fact.
Time for the interesting quote or fact of the week. I'm going to Instagram. Now, every now and then, ladies and gentlemen, I go on my Instagram and I say to dear listeners, have you got an interesting fact or quote of the week that you would like to share with the audience of the Business Broadcast?
The audience. I like it.
I've
got a fun fact.
I've got a YouTube fact.
Go on. Give us a YouTube fact.
From Abishly 1. YouTube was first created as a video version of Hot or Not dating site. They pivoted after. Hang on a sec. No, I haven't got the rest of that.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, I really wanted to know the rest of that.
Hot or Not dating site. Wow.
I
remember when my mate first ever showed me YouTube, and I thought it was like the dark web. Do you remember the dark web? It was like just really like dodgy videos. It's like how to play chords of a song and like, yeah, horrible stuff. I was like, I don't think I like YouTube.
I've got a great one here. There's a famous cottage in Melbourne called James Sinclair's Cottage.
Really?
Yep. And there's one in Sydney called James Burt's Cottage. This is weird, isn't it? The Australia thing.
We should go there when we go on tour.
I made the second one up.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Chuds, can you just check this out? James Sinclair's Cottage in Melbourne. I am big down under.
Just make sure it's not James Sinclair cottaging, because that's a different thing entirely.
Simon Starling says closed mouths don't get fed.
That is true.
That's true, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true.
It's good philosophy.
That's a good philosophy.
I like this one from Motley Pie. This too shall pass. That's lovely.
That is good, isn't it?
If you're in the beeswax right now,
yeah,
just know it shall pass.
Also, if you're being Charlie Bigspuds, that too shall pass as well.
Charlie Bigspuds spot? What?
If you're being Charlie Bigspuds, if you're having it off at the moment, that too will pass as well.
Oh, yeah.
So just bear that in
I
mind.
saw Robert De Niro say that in an interview. He said, just when I thought everything was great and I was at the top of the game, I got knocked back down to earth and I didn't get some parts of blah, blah.
Can often happen. Go on,
Chuds is going to give us some...
I was just about to say what you just said about the quote, like the full thing. Someone DM'd it to you saying, it's not just this too shall pass, it's like the good stuff as well and the bad stuff, it's everything. But JB just finished off, so it's great.
But
what did you want to know about
James Sinclair Cottage? Does it exist
in Melbourne?
Yeah, it's a tourist attraction in East Melbourne.
Is it
Sinclair's
an actual
cottage?
What is it?
Yeah, what is it?
Is it just a building?
Oh, 1 stars though. It's not, I'm joking.
Yeah, what do you do there?
It looks like...
Pumpkin picking?
I'll put some on screen. It looks like a garden of sorts.
Oh, that's a bit of you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I thought of you
Quite
the other
nice.
day? I went out for the annual. That's a bit of you.
Southeast.
That's a bit of you, that isn't
They
it?
don't say that in the rest of the UK.
No.
A bit of you
Bit
is
of you.
definitely
A South thing,
East,
an Essex,
South,
London thing.
Essex
yeah.
thing. Don't even do it in Hertfordshire.
This is a bit of you. So I went out the other day for my for the annual Christmas get together with Hayley's family.
Yeah.
And we went to, they love a Toby Carvery.
I love a Toby
I
Carvery.
flipping love a Toby Carvery.
What anyone watching from Toby Carvery, what brilliant value for money you are.
Brilliant.
The meat's good, isn't it?
We should do, if you'd like to sponsor this podcast, we look like we could
We
be
don't want Toby
sponsored by
Carvery to
Toby
sponsor. I do
Carvery.
not want them saying unlimited Toby Carveries.
Yeah, that'd be bad,
That's
wouldn't it?
not a good news story.
Do you know what? But so we're there, but as well as going to Toby Carvery, they also love a garden centre, them lot. So we went to a garden centre. I can see the attraction that you'll talk about with the garden centre. So we went on a Wednesday morning. Me and Hayley got there at 10:30. It was absolutely flipping packed. There was young, there was old, there was retail, the cafe was packed. People were still looking around the outside in the gardens. There's a butchery counter. This place is massive.
Why don't you and Hayley do a bit of romance instead of wandering around garden centres?
What do you think I was doing in the garden centre? I said, come behind here and have a look at this fern tree. He's not having a good time now. That is romance in our world.
Did you buy anything in the garden centre?
Oh, we bought loads of old crap, yeah. We only went there to meet her family to then go across the road to the Toby Carvery. I could see why they're good business.
Where was it? In what part of country?
In Kent. Just off the M25. I forgot what it's bloody called now.
Well done. There we go. The font of knowledge has forgotten what he's talking about.
But I thought of you. I could see why the appeal, because this must have done, when it's packed, they probably do 200 covers in there. There must have been 100 people sat in this cafe.
There are
on
garden
a
centres.
Wednesday.
There are garden centres in this country doing in excess of £15 million in a site.
It's crazy.
In a location.
Are you still hyped for a garden centre? You're still looking at it?
If the right one come along, I would do it. I lost one because I was too tight and should have just paid the money.
Really?
Yeah, I was like holding out for a deal, and then someone else bought it. Someone that's a customer, that's a very good operator. They bought it instead. So, c'est la vie, baby.
So could you still?
What's your interesting fact?
Why are you so wanting one of those? Because does it fold in enough for you?
Yeah, I think. Why do I like garden centres? Because they're basically days out, leisure days out, but they encompass whole of market, 60-year-olds and 6-year-olds.
Yeah, fair enough.
What's your interesting fact or quote of the week?
Final one from me that got sent through from Moses. And this is a sort of
so
an
you're not doing any
thing.
work yourself?
Are you literally joking me?
I came up with the IKEA one on my own. I came up with...
Hi guys, it's me, James Sinclair. I'm just going off to one of my other fantastic sites and I've got to do a thing. Could you send me some things so I don't have to do the thing? Thanks very much. That's your level of engagement for this feature that you force us to do. Fun fact number 3. Apple AirPods. Apple AirPods generated 16 billion in revenue in 2024 with approximately 8 billion in profit. That makes AirPods more valuable than Uber. Spotify.
You said this once, didn't you, about AirPods? Was that you that was telling me?
Yeah, we looked at numbers and AirPods are bigger than most companies, just as their one.
Bigger than Uber, bigger than Spotify, bigger than Airbnb, bigger than Snapchat, and bigger than eBay combined. Just the AirPods. Just the flipping AirPods.
Yeah, that's one of the best
50%
ones.
margin.
That's up there with the 6th biggest restaurant chain in the world, IKEA. That was one of our interesting facts or quotes of the week. And
cruise ship, not cruise ship.
How many containers
ships.
get on a cargo ship? And it's 20,000. I think that's up there.
I reckon.
Give us that again. Bigger than
It's
who
bigger
combined?
than Uber, Spotify, Airbnb, Snapchat, and eBay combined.
And eBay's a monster, isn't it?
Do you know what we should do for next Christmas?
What?
We should see if we can do an interesting fact or quote of the week book. And we'll just take all of the things we think are most interesting. We'll put it into like a business. You know, one of them books you buy at a garden centre for like £5 as a stocking filler that you read when you're having a poo. You know them books, which is actually a really disgusting thing, isn't it? Them toilet books when you think about it. But here you go. Here's the comparison because Moses has been very effective. Comparison to the UK. For context, 8 billion in profits is more than the combined annual profits of Tesco and BT Group put together.
One more time on that. So
for context, the 8 billion in profits that the AirPods make is more than the combined annual profits of Tesco, which is 2.6 billion, and the BT Group, which is 1.7 billion, demonstrating just how lucrative Apple's wearable tech has become.
Have you got a pair of AirPods?
They're not AirPods. I've got something similar.
Because you're...
Knockoffs.
Really?
I've got AirPods.
AirPods.
They're very, very good. No, I got.
Do you know what? They were very slow
Nothing.
to
Have you heard of
take
the
off.
brand Nothing?
No.
They are a phone brand that is built on the Android platform. So he was one of the lead designers at Apple. They've got a really cool store in Soho.
I've got some. I mean, sometimes we talk about technology. I spoke about a couple of episodes ago about my Meta Ray-Bans, very good, but the battery isn't very good. Talking about something that Apple has just made so useless. I have the AirPods Max. My Bose headphones broke. Me and Chuds have always used Bose headphones at work. We both got them. I've got one at home and then one in the office, and my office pair broke, which I was disappointed about. But so I thought, I'll try the Apple ones. I mean, they sound great, but what they have designed there is useless. You cannot turn them off. So you have to put them in this stupid case to put them to sleep. And so they're constantly draining battery. So they really made a boo-boo on that one.
So the Nothing headphones, they are just amazing.
Are they?
They're the best headphones I've ever had.
Have you tried Bose ones?
Yeah, I had a set of Bose for running. I just found them too heavy in your ear.
Right.
But those, the Nothing ones, I wore them all throughout the marathon, all through the training. They were brilliant.
Well, there you go.
I wonder if Nothing will send me a pair of them, because people send him all sorts of stuff. If you're listening from Nothing, I've just given you a free shout out.
Yeah, I've never heard of Nothing. Have you heard of them, Chance? Yeah.
It's super cool, their stuff. I really like what they're doing. It's really cool. Anyway, talking about other businesses, should we talk about...
I'm just going to quickly ask, what's your favourite piece of tech that you use on a constant basis? What about yours, Chance? What's your...
Yeah, my MacBook Pro, my M1 chip MacBook Pro. For the geeks out there that understand, I can't believe how good the M chips are. Like, Apple have completely outdone. You can you can cap out the top spec MacBook and it will be better than anything you need it for. This is not even their newest thing, and it outperforms everything, the MacBook I use. And I know someone that's got a brand new one and it's still far better. You know how like your new iPhone might be good, but the battery's bad.
Yeah.
Or like your headphones are good, but they're uncomfortable. It's like the new MacBook Pros are absolutely perfect. And they have done that for like 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
It's very impressive. For all the videographers and people that I speak
Got
to.
enough inputs on them though.
Everything you need. It's crazy good. And then they've just released some new ones last month, and I'm like, I want one, but I don't need one.
Yeah.
They're that good, yeah.
What about you?
I would say MacBook or the Nothing headphones. I absolutely love them. What do you reckon? What's your number one?
Well, these are very good for me.
So you were at I saw you were at one of the attractions at the weekends a couple of weekends ago, but I was expecting some footage.
What I love about them, for me, is when I go around and audit our sites, I'm not going like this to take photos.
Yeah.
If you're listening, I'm miming what I would do with my phone. I can just click my glasses like I'm James Bond. So for me, very good. Very good. But overall, nothing beats the iPhone.
Yeah.
I could not live.
No, you actually couldn't live without devices now, could you?
I run my business on this.
Yeah.
We'll do 50 million in revenue, I think, in this 2025. And I write my letter on this, and I do find if I'm doing a proper righty thing, I do want the full words. What's Chud's laughing at? What's what I said wrong?
The righty thing.
Just your articulation.
The full righty thing.
What about best piece of software? Just while we're here, what software helps you?
Oh, Chat GPT now.
Flipping fantastic.
Oh my God. If you know how to prompt it in the right way, it is so powerful. But for what I do in terms of agency, comms has entirely been streamlined via Slack.
Right.
Slack has got rid of people phoning me, messaging me, emailing me, WhatsApping me. I had a period of time when all of our clients would like WhatsApp me if they needed something. Like now, you have to get quite strict with it. It's like, don't respond. And if they would message me, I'd just ignore it. I only respond via Slack. You have to train clients not to talk down about people, but train them to use that. But then all of the comms is in one place. So yeah, I think Slack is brilliant.
Well, my three most used would be the Google in the cloud set of stuff. So Sheets, Drive.
Yes.
And the way that your team can edit live. Oh,
yeah, it's
just
good.
Such a fun.
Yeah.
So all my spreadsheets, like we can all see them and in
real time. Yeah.
And that's just so good and so.
And it's
useful.
got a paper trail as well. So if anyone's like, I didn't touch that, you did.
Yeah. Then Xero for accountancy. We've moved away from Sage to Xero, and I love that. But I don't go in as much as I used to. I really wait for the management accounts to be sent to me, but it's good. And then I have to say, EPOS now I think is very good for sort of seeing what you're doing each day in real time as well for anyone that needs a tilling system. But if I had to choose one, I would probably choose that Google Sheets and all of that in the cloud.
Yeah,
Chuds, what about yours? I mean, one of the things I was interested is that audio platform that you told, but that's been good, isn't it, for the last year? What's your favourite bit of software that you use?
Adobe, just their package of stuff. That is my most used. I live and breathe off of it, don't I, really? A lot of people slag that off because it costs quite a bit of money. And I think because they're a huge platform, so as soon as something gets too big, people like to hate on it, don't you? You said about Amazon earlier, like it's so successful, people start to not want to use it. But for £50 a month, and I get the creative freedom.
Oh, it's unbelievable,
of what Adobe provide. I think it's insane.
The one thing I don't like with Adobe is that they automatically put you into an annual contract. So if you try, and so I had obviously a bunch of people this time last year, and then I had to reduce the size down. They're like, yeah, you could just pay us £1,500 to leave us. And I was like, why would I give you money for nothing? Like, it's ridiculous. Have you heard what I've said to you?
If you cancel as well and then sign up and you get a cheaper rate. So they're a bit funny about.
They were good though, to be fair. The customer service person was like, we shouldn't be doing that for you. So I'm going to wipe that cost. And I was like, oh, fair play.
All of those complaints mean absolutely nothing with how good it is.
Yes. You'd still use it, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
But grudgingly, I'd be like, oh, knobs.
I don't want to use anything else.
Yeah.
And that's got better. The AI features onto that compared to 5 years ago.
It's great. Yeah. Can't complain at all.
There we go. That was a good little side
note.
Oh,
wasn't it? What a lovely little section. Jimbo Sinclair's State of the Nation. Tech State of the Nation. But it links into today's guest. No, it doesn't actually. No. Doesn't. No, he's electrical, because if you did have electrics, then you couldn't run none of this stuff, could you?
No.
So well and good having the tech, but what happens if your plug don't work?
Tell us
So
about
that's
who
what
we're
I'm
talking to today.
So
then,
today
JB.
we're talking to lovely Sam from Avon Electrical. They are an electrical engineering company. They've been going over 10 years. They are doing about £25,000 per month in revenue. They've got 6 team members. They've also, Sam was saying that as well as the main Avon Electrical company, they've also started a side business in renewables, which is what every electrical company has been doing in the last couple of years. So he reckons by sort of year end, he's going to be doing about 300-400 grand in the main company, and about 100 grand in the new side
Solar
company.
is definitely becoming commoditized, isn't it?
Yes, it really is, very, very quickly.
And there's companies now giving 0% interest on sending. I reckon it's, yeah.
Well, do you remember the last time around when they had this, and they had the whole, the SIPs, not SIPs,
Yeah,
there's the feed-in tariff, and it was so successful that they just went, no, actually, we told you we're going to give you 35 pence per kilowatt hour. Yeah, we're not. Sorry, guys.
What's the there's a little phrase, a little interesting fact or quite bonus here. If you see the tidal wave, you're too late, or if you see the wagon, you're too late, something like that.
Yeah.
That's definitely solar, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. But if you're in this space and there's, the zeitgeist is like, oh, this is the big thing.
Yeah.
It makes sense if you're already in the space to make a side move towards that. I completely get that. So he's going to do 400 to 500,000 quid's worth of revenue this year. He's got challenges though. Challenge number 1, cash flow. Challenge number 2, growth. Challenge number 3, procuring more work. Where does he want to be in 1 year's time? He wants to double the size of the business to get to £1 million worth of turnover. What does the business look like when it's finished? One that brings through apprentices and runs without Sam in it. Do you make the profits you want to make? If so, what is it? He just said no. Didn't tell us the number. Just said no. But he said, and then we also asked people, would you spend your time day to day in the business doing? And he said, I'm in it, not on it. So I'm in, not on the business. And then there's a bunch of questions that he'd like to ask you. But I said to Sam in the pre-chat chat, I said, what would be most valuable for you to get from this conversation today with Jimbo? And he said, he wants to scale, he wants to grow, he wants to get to the next level, but he hates debt. And there's not enough profitability he's pushing everything that he can feasibly back into the business, but he can't keep bootstrapping it. He doesn't think he can bootstrap it to get it where he wants it to get to, but then he's going to have to get over the debt hump within his mind, I would say. So should we get him on and find out in his own words?
Hey gang, we're going back to the pod in just a moment, but I wanted to tell you about Entrepreneurs University. This is a platform that I've created for entrepreneurs and business owners that are serious about growth. There's 100 video lessons from me on everything in business, raising finance, buying companies, property investment, and everything in between. Attached to each video is a downloadable PDF that goes into more detail about what we've learned in the video. It goes one step further than that because I've also put stuff that you won't get anywhere else onto Entrepreneurs University. The lessons go into way more detail, but not just that. You're going to get my business plans, my spreadsheets, and all the files that I use to drive the KPIs in my business. Just think about how powerful that could be for your business. And here's the good news. You can try Entrepreneurs University for free. 14-day free trial. After that, it will cost you just $49.99 a month. That's less than a pair of Nikes to grow the profitability in your business. There's a link in the video description, and I cannot wait to see you in Entrepreneurs University.
Let's get him on. Sam, welcome to the podcast, my friend.
Hi, how you doing?
We are very well, thank you, mate. So give us a quick, the origin story of you and the company, mate, in case there's any details that we missed. Just let the listener or watcher know for us, dude.
Yeah, so Avon Electrical was actually my dad's business. And to start on a sad note, he passed away when I was 18 and he was my boss. So I inherited the company name whilst I was an apprentice. And there was like a little network of electricians who sort of saw me through afterwards. And that was my godfather and his son, who were both trading electricians. And on my second year, it was my godfather's son. And third year, it was my godfather. And then their side of their family very much heavily involved in electrical industry with wholesaling and lots of good contacts. So once I finished my apprenticeship, it was a bit of a tough time, but I finished it and got it done. Took a little bit of time out and came back and just thought, I've got to crack on and I've, got to do something. So I just picked up the phone book and at sort of 21, rang up local electricians and said, right, I'm newly qualified, because my godfather, although he saw me through, he wasn't in a position. He was a one-man band, just like my dad. So he wasn't in a position to keep me going. So I was sort of like thrown out into the world of self-employment very early on. And I never fancied being employed, certainly at that stage. And then as soon as I got the taste of self-employment, it was, I could never sort of look back really. And then I continued to be self-employed for, 5 or 6 years after that. And then that's when I'd say around 5 or 6 ago from now is when I then started running a business. So I'm aware I was very much just a self-employed subby electrician for, a large part, half of my time so far as being an electrician. And only in the last 5 or 6 years have I sort of now classed myself as like owning or running a business. And then why that evolved, why that happened was because I got too big just to be on my own. So I was asking around for, recommendations for apprentices, and just gradually, found one. He's really good. He's still with me today. So he's now my sort of like number 2. He's been with me for 7 years, which is great because, he does things exactly how I like to do them. And then, and just there was opportunities to employ more people and go and get more work. So I did it, and I sort of took some gambles and didn't go and buy any cars, didn't go on any big holidays, not for like, I probably could have done, but I wasn't sort of like just in a little hole focusing on the business. I just wanted to try and, get it to the next level as quickly as I could. So I saw the value in trying to reinvest. And then I feel like now I've got to that level of plateauing again, where I did 5 years ago, where 5 years has passed and I've got it to, I'm now a very busy small business owner. I'm not someone, ready to go like I did 5 years ago, ready to go again. It's just where, in like that pre-chat where I said, I'm not sure how I achieve that. I know I've got all the ideas, like, I'm obsessed with my industry. I'm constantly on YouTube watching people like James, but then there's all the other business owners out there. There's some construction guys, every trade, and then there's Asheville, and all these guys who give you the behind the scenes look at how they run their businesses. It's like I'm not much of a reader. I can read, but I don't really read. So I get a really good hit of information coming back from videos and content that people like James and everyone puts out. So I find that really valuable and actually quite inspiring to see that sort of come through. So it gives me lots of ideas, and I've been doing that for the last 2-3 years. I've just been absorbing that on a weekly basis. So I know what I want to do. I know what the steps I need to take. I know I shouldn't be working in the business. I should be working on it and all those things. And just the stumbling block I found myself get to is having enough cash available to employ the right people. And again, I hear James say all the time about going, getting the right people around you and managers and team. I've managed to maintain, keep hold of one of my guys who's come through the ranks, but the next steps for me are recruitment, not just training and then keeping people. I need to go and get the good people in the roles that I need them, but to do that I need the cash, and that's probably the biggest sort of problem I've got, I think.
Okay, well, should we go through the challenges one by one?
Yeah. So challenge 1 was cash flow. So what do you mean by cash flow, mate? So that's quite a broad
cash flow
challenge to have.
Yeah, definitely. It came to so I, again, listening to James, I might do it a few times and it might be a bit cringe, but listening to a lot of his little sayings, and I would definitely, I knew I was one of those people that had the number one, the danger of the one. I think I can't remember exactly what it is, but I had one big contract that I relied on, and that was for a good 18 months, 2 years, up until around 6 months ago, where it didn't just stop, but it slowly. They had a managerial change in house, and the payments were becoming slower, and rather than doing 10 or 15 grand a month with them, I was doing 5 or 10,000, and things started to slow. So the cash flow problem is more recent than historic, because I think what it did is the bigger contract plastered over that problem. So around 6 months ago, I went on some cost saving exercises to try and bring down the overheads. I've sublet one of my vans to a subcontractor. I've got rid of a small office space that I was using, and one of my guys, who I, in hindsight, wish I didn't probably act so rash, I got rid of, or we parted ways amicably, but he's now no longer with us. And, that saved around £3,000 a month in wage, which probably wasn't the best thing to do, but I panicked, if I'm honest, as a small business owner. That on the horizon was a month, around October of this year, I wouldn't have been able, I would have gone into an overdraft for the first time ever. I wouldn't have been able to pay the bills had I not made a change. So that was, the cash flow challenge. I've reacted to that, I feel like, quite well. And, I've put some things in place to make sure we're invoicing quicker. And We're chasing up payments if they're not being paid. And I know it sounds like obvious stuff, but when you've got that one big contract, you can get blinded by that. And I was for a long time. So I feel like I've learned lots of lessons from that, and I'll never do it again. I'm still working with that contract, but I just, I've spread my bets a bit better.
Yeah, Sam, I mean, the whole point of being a business owner is focus your time on bringing in cash flow.
Yeah.
Growing your business, not operating your business. So you keep those big customers, but your job is to dilute them and bring in other customers. And if you could spend 80% of your time on business development and then 20% of your time in the business, and if you've watched all my stuff, you'll know that is a repeating process. And if you listen to all of the super successful, high growth entrepreneurs on the podcast, of which there's been many hundreds now, I think JB will attest to this as well. The ones that come on that get closer to the 8 traits when we do the quiz, the rating at the end, should I say, those that seem to be doing more are very, very focused on bringing in cash flow.
Yeah.
And it sounds like to me, you're very good at managing your overheads, but probably not so great at bringing in more cash flow because of some scarcity and fear within you around, I mean, I don't think you do need debt for a business like this. I mean, I know that we're going to talk about that. That's a fear of yours, but
I think it would be like a short-term debt that I feel like I need to just go into because I understand that, obviously employing someone is going to generate the revenue.
You should be borrowing money to make money.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing. You're buying a warehouse that you're going to rent out to someone for £150,000 and you're wet and your debt is £50,000. That's a great thing, and debt can really help. And I've used that in my career, but borrowing to live or borrowing for
cash flow is so dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah. Unless there's a real reason why you're doing it, because you're working for a FTSE 100 company and they pay you on 120 days, but it's much easier to manage cash flow in your space. You just say, look, we only work for you if you pay 50% up front and 50% on 30 days. And lots of people will cave into that and do that. Sometimes you say, well, look, we want 70% up front and 30% on 30 days. You can change it. And it's a good argument to have a big chunk of B2B, but also a big chunk of B2C. Let's do some stuff for Harold and Hilda, but also let's do some stuff for some big companies, work them both in unison so that Harold and Hilda money is coming in very regularly, that evens out the cash flow. You must remember, Sam, I mean, what you're talking about there is what we call professionally customer concentration. And what I talk about is no more than 10% of your revenue comes from any one person. So if that company is paying you £10,000 a month, you need to make sure another £90,000 a month is coming from elsewhere. Because what's really sad here, Sam, the saddest the saddest part of your monologue is when you've found a really good member of staff that was highly effective and you let go of them because you were worried about your cash flow, because you only had one big customer. And if you'd had 100 customers and you lost one, you wouldn't have got rid of a really good member of staff, would you?
No, exactly that. Yeah. And I think, I don't know if I misunderstand the phrase debt. Like, that probably sounds a bit silly, but like, I know I don't want to borrow £5,000 a month to just pay wages. I think I need investment in understanding the difference between like borrowing to invest to grow the business, like you said with the warehouse analogy. I think if I'd have done that at the time, rather than framing it as I need to go into an overdraft to pay this guy's wages for 6 months to make sure I keep him, I panicked when I thought that, and I thought, oh God, I can't have a business that's in the red. But and I don't want to live in the red. We're cash positive in the sense that we have no debt. We have good, semi-good cash reserves for a small business. They're all good things.
Sam, a good member of staff, a good tradesperson that's worked for you and has delivered for you really well. I would personally, if I ever had those situations, and I've had many of them where cash flow is really tight, I would borrow money to.
Yeah, that's it. I was too scared to do that, and I don't know why.
Keep all my team in place. if it was a short-term thing. I wouldn't do it for a long-term thing, but
No.
if someone owed me £250,000 and I was £250,000 short and I wanted to keep everything together and I knew that it was coming, I would borrow for that. And I have done that many, 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 many times over my career. Now, I'm not saying that's right for everyone. That was my personal decision, and I'm not telling you to go and do that.
No.
But, it
leads on to the third biggest challenge, doesn't it? Which is procuring new work. If you knew and you were confident the work is coming in, the work is there for that guy, there's no issue with paying that dude's salary, is there?
Yeah.
And you need to be focusing more of your time on that than anything else.
And that I mean, I heard your comments about the solar industry before, like, what it was, and I get it. It's a second coming of what was 10 or 12 years ago, which was the feed-in tariffs and the big boom. And that the market has changed. The feed-in tariff is gone. It's now to do with the addition of batteries. So we got into it around 3 years ago because I felt like it was on the horizon, that it was another change in the industry was coming. And I feel like that procuring new work is something that I began to do with starting up the system, Avon Renewables, which works along Avon Electrical sells its services to Avon Renewables. So actually Avon Renewables, supplies the kit and designs it, but they don't do any install work. Avon Electrical is a subcontractor of that business. So, it's almost like another customer for Avon Electrical. And that business is, and I've seen that one, and maybe wrongly, I don't know, maybe you can have some advice on like whether that business is a business that takes 25% deposit on signing the contract, and then it takes another 25% on delivery of materials. It's a very cash positive business. I had a bit of a mentor involved in that business with me, and he's left now after a year, parted ways as planned, really. He helped me set that company up, with...
Sam, I'm not against... solar, obviously it's here to stay, and everyone's doing it. It's just everyone's doing it, and it's a bit
it's a crowded market.
But I'm I get why you're doing it. You're an electrician, it all folds in. Keep going. But what I'm saying is, like, you should, if you spent 10 hours a day on bringing in work rather than 10 hours a day on the tools, that's the difference to how you explode in growth.
100%. And I think what really frustrates me is I know that. But why I can't do that is because my guys I've got are very good, but they need another one of me. So I need to replace me with someone. So I need to go and I need to recruit a £50,000 a year, electrician who's going to be my number two on site. The guy I brought through, Jordan, he's great electrician, and he's helping drive the renewables business forward behind the scenes with designs and stuff. But a real sort of like almost like enforcer type number two, I would love one of those. And that again goes back to what I feel like my biggest challenge is like, how do I finance that? What do I do as of the 1st of January if I want to go and find that person?
I think you should go, work really hard, go and get the work, and then because you're too nervous, and so that's not the right medicine for you. You need to go out there, get the work, build the pipeline, and then you bring in the member of staff, because that's the only way you can operate. So you want sales before operations, and then as soon as you got the sales, you put the operations in.
Yeah, I think I might be there though, James. We've got work booked for January, February.
Well, do it,
and I don't know what's.
But do it.
Yeah.
Then.
Also, and again, this is something I heard Jimbo say years and years and years ago. Most people get fearful of employing someone. You've already said a couple of times, he's going to be a 50 grand electrician. No, he's not. He's a $4 grand a month electrician.
I know, that's the big
if you
part.
just frame it in your mind, you haven't got to find 50 grand. And what I think you're probably thinking is that you need someone to invest, or you've got to find the investment for 50 grand so you can sit on this cash flow buffer. So know you've got that guy's salary paid for 12 months. That guy, if you've got him enough work, he's paid for himself in week 2.
Yeah, got ya. That's definitely something that I frustratingly think I know, but like hearing it back to me. So I don't often talk to people about this. My lads, we go out to work, and all the builders and people I work for, I don't really get a chance to have conversations about like how I want to grow the business and stuff like that. But I think that's the misunderstanding point that I go back to about what is not debt on that instance, but like understanding how our cash flow growth is probably actually more.
Maybe you sound so conservative. I won't worry about that. You're never going to let that happen to you, just by the things you're saying.
Yeah.
You don't spend enough time on business development.
No.
And as soon as you do, your life will change.
I think you should find a network of other tradespeople who are growth focused in your local area.
I think that's a very good idea.
And get together with them on a monthly, bi-monthly basis. Go out and have a curry. Go and have a chat. Go a bit open book. Did you say, what are the challenges you got right now? What's working right now? Oh, do you know what? Actually, we've found like TikTok for client acquisition is absolutely amazing. Oh yeah, brilliant. Blah blah blah. This new supplier's come to town locally, whatever it may be. Just get around a bunch of people because, like I say, with respect, if you are working from Monday to Friday, then on Friday night you're going to the pub with the guys you work with, and you're having an inane conversation over a pint in a pub, you're not getting around the right people who are going to grow your business minded mentality. And that's not a knock on anybody. It's just that a lot of tradespeople go to work to earn their money. They're good at what they do. They're not good operators of a business. So I think you just need to get around. There's loads of like businessy networks. There's loads of trades sort of networks that are out there. I think you need to find them and get around them, mate.
Yeah, I think I found one online at the moment, which I'm a member of, and it's actually another guy on YouTube who's got quite a lot of subscribers. It's called Artisan Electrics, and he started something on a platform called School.
Oh yeah.
Did it around a month or 6 weeks ago, and I was one of the first ones to join it because I saw it come up, and it is genuinely just as transparent as 100 now 200 electricians are on there, and you can just it's just almost like a Facebook thread, but only you don't have a profile as such. You just can comment, and I found that really valuable for just sort of brain dumping and putting out there, because it is exactly what you've said there. It's like-minded business growers that it's not just electricians. I know I don't want to just be an electrician. I want to own a business.
In that group, then put it in there. Who's in the south and who'd like to meet up in the new year? And like instigate creating a little, almost like a little mini mastermind for yourselves.
Yep, I think that's a very, very, very smart thing to do. But the thing is, you're quite a contradiction on yourself. Like one part of you, I want a business, and another part of you is very small-minded, and you just need to go out there and be the business development manager for your business. That is the answer.
Yeah.
Even if you've got a PA, I always say this. And sometimes do you need another electrician or do you need a manager? It's someone that can,
I definitely think my first. So I've got a lady who works for me part-time in the office, helping with general sort of admin, and she's great at what she does. I genuinely think that, and again, it goes back to the cash flow and of that growth is she's obviously not, doesn't on the face of it bring in income. She would, because she'd make us more efficient and she'd chase invoices, but then it's having a place for her to go and work. And it's just that next step of growth. I think it's just going back to going on about it, but like getting my head around being uncomfortable around the finances of the business.
You might be less well off for 6 months.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
But then you get to the next level.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then this happens again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your prize for getting through this little hurdle is another hurdle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you die.
Wow, strong. Did you have any, I think we've covered off some of the challenges there. Did you have any specific questions that you wanted to ask Jim? I know you wanted to use how to use debt. I think we've covered that off. How to become comfortable with debt. Oh my God, the message is becoming clearer and clearer in these questions. How to grow. Should I push on the scale or go back to gain more control? I think we've pretty covered all of those off already. Have you got any other sort of specific questions that you want to ask?
Yeah, so it's, along the lines of, when have you always known you're going to grow a business the size that you've grown it? So was your goal? I've been accused sometimes, and it probably has come through in this podcast, unfortunately, that, I don't necessarily know what my end game is. I don't know what I need it to be. James, have you always known that you're going to end up owning a business that turns over 50 million quid? Did you start out to do that, or did you fall into it?
I did. I've always wanted to push for the mountain.
How big? Has it been that big? Or
I'm disappointed in what I've done. I think I can do more.
Yeah. And that was, that clarity of what that goal was. Do you think that has enabled you to achieve, and I'm sure you'll achieve more because you said you want to do more, but do you think because you had such clarity to begin with, it's allowed you to make decisions at the right times because you're confident and that's what you want at the end?
You've got to take some risks.
Yeah.
You can't, nothing's as bad as you think. If you're a good person and you don't give up, you solve all the problems.
Yeah.
You need momentum and mindset to go forward. Is it difficult? Yes, absolutely it is.
Yeah.
Is it all sunshine and rainbows? No, definitely not. Is it more difficult than good? Probably. But the pain of regret is far worse.
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah, I think that's it.
You don't want to get to the end of the days and go, yeah, I should have employed that person. Like, you just would, just do it. Like, if it doesn't work out, and when you're not paying yourself for a couple of months, when it does, then the tide does turn, which it will, and it certainly will for you because of how careful you are. You'll be going, actually, do you know what? I invested in those people, didn't pay myself for 3 months, but look at the size of what I've got now. Look what I've got now.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think I'm thinking way too far ahead. So, like, again, it goes back to a 50K a year is £44,000 a month, not 50K. And it's that, it's breaking it back down. And like, what's the goal for the next 3 months? What's the first quarter of the year? Is it to, go and get that person full time and sit them in a desk and get because the system, I saw what this mentor guy did for me, and he's had a long corporate career in, a long corporate career. I don't know what corporate careers they're in, but the way that he, from the ground up, built that small business with the systems and processes, and I saw it. And before I even got involved with him, I was trying to not panic, but I was retrospectively trying to put in systems and processes into my trading electrical business, and it was just nigh impossible. I mean, I've spent a couple of grand on advice and just structure within marketing and social media presence, and it all just sort of
you don't need any of that. You just need to pick up the phone and knock on the door and send out some letters.
Yeah, no, and I don't want to, because I haven't got the infrastructure to suddenly accept loads of inbound calls. But the other one was the health and safety. It's all about the systems and processes. So I just use social media as an example. I agree. I don't need that to grow my business. We're established very locally, very established, and have some great working relationships with some guys that are doing nice big jobs. And it's not just that one big contract that we're on. They're, in terms of turnover, that one is our biggest. But we do work for like 5 or 6 different builders, and we have now a phone book of clients who just ring us directly when they're doing stuff on their own. So in terms of spreading our bets with who we're working for, I agree. I don't think social media. I think me picking up the phone and talking to people and saying that project went well, or why didn't it go well? What you've got coming up next? I actually did that when I saw this cash flow pinch on the horizon around 3 or 4 months ago. And I regret it now, because all the jobs that have been delayed all got started again. And then I went and banged the drum for more work, and it worked. And I got more work out of that by me making phone calls and going out and being proactive and trying to.
So just do that all the time and then employ people once you get the contracts.
Yeah, I mean, I've just got one in the new year, so it's our first venture for a while into sort of small scale commercial electrics. It's a sort of just under £20,000 contract, and that for me feels like there's enough cash within that business, within that contract, probably, if it's priced right, and I think it is, for me to go and put that advert out just to go and get another spark on board. And then once I've got them,
I think, Sam, you're calling up here asking us for permission for the stuff that you need to go and do.
I think you might be right, James. And I don't, it's that, like I said, I rarely speak this out loud. I'm very, I've heard you say a number of times, it's very lonely being a business owner, and it's very lonely, with your thoughts and when you're going to bed at night. And I'm constantly writing stuff down on notepads and notes on my phone, and it's not often I get the chance to speak like this, to hear myself say it. And that might be the biggest takeaway is that I know what I need to do. I'm just not doing it. And like you said, that permission, I don't know if it's permission, but I know what you mean.
It's giving yourself permission.
Yeah.
I think maybe, Sam, as well, not to get too sort of like in the psychological weeds here, but I think obviously your godfather stepped in when your dad sadly passed away. Someone else stepped in. You're used to having people around you to be your sounding board and to just go,
Yeah.
am I right here? Am I sense checking myself here? Just have a bit of confidence in yourself, mate. You've got 6 people on board. You've got a best part of a £500,000 business. You've pulled yourself up from nothing with a little bit of advice and guidance. Just trust yourself more here, mate, because everything that you said that you think that you should do, you absolutely should be doing. You know, I wrote down here, jump and grow your wings on the way down. Now, if you were going, I'm going to start an e-com business in a completely different sector, different conversation, but you're talking about just scaling up something that you're already good at doing and spacing. So just jump and grow your wings on the way down. You'll be fine because you're too risk adverse not to be fine.
No, that's right.
Is that a bad thing to be risk adverse?
Depends. It's neither good. Nothing is good nor bad. Thinking makes it so. It's true,
Yeah,
isn't it?
true. Yeah,
It's true.
One of the things I was just thinking, if I was an investor in Sam and I gave you a £5,
Oh, you know
Come
you're getting
back to
10
it.
quid back.
Well, yeah, but it would take me 5
15
years.
years.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah, I know I'd
Yeah.
always get my money back,
Mm.
but
Start a little
But
network.
slowly.
Start a little network of people
Yeah.
in your space, and even if it is, you know, like so, it's not in the same exact sector. Because you don't want a bunch of like plumbers who might all, you know, because you've got to have honesty and integrity to go into those little masterminds to make them work. So maybe find a plumber, a bricklayer, a grounds worker, a plant machine hire company of the same sort of size.
or even just one good mentor that's 60, 65.
Who's-
that's
been
been
true.
there, done it. He's retired and they're a very good person. There is someone that I know that's been had an amazing electrical contracting business. He sold it and it was turning 100 million quid. He knows this inside and out. If you message me on Instagram, I will put you in a WhatsApp group with him and see if he can just have a chat with you. I'm sure he'll do that as a favour from me.
Yeah, mate, amazing. Yeah, I'd love. Yeah, that type of thing. That the guy I had mentored me in the last year or so. He's actually one of my apprentices' dads. So he knew, you know, my first venture into solar didn't go well. I was working with another company. I parted ways. He could see something in me, so he decided to. He was retired recently himself, and he's 52, 53, very successful, and you know, and he's just was almost. He said that he was at an event, and someone said, do you want to donate some of your time to a local uni? And he just thought to himself, well, no, I want to donate my time, but I can still make a bit of money at it. So we went 50-50 on this business. And the year I spent with him, working with him and understanding his input on starting the new business from the ground up was invaluable. And since he's done a similar thing as you offered there, James, there's a guy very local to me down in Bournemouth who's sold a company for a few million quid. It's actually a plumbing company, so it's relevant sector, but it's not the same.
See, like that person, yeah, but this person is. I mean, I would go to him and ask him advice. This particular guy that I'm thinking of, he's a qualified accountant as well, you know, which is like a double whammy of goodness.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the winner. Yeah.
Cool. Well, look, anything else that you think we've missed that you'd need some help with?
No, I think that I think the biggest thing was to come to, you know, a space where, you know, it was not like-minded people, but like, you know, no, I think my takeaways are that the understanding that it's just one step at a time and just got to go for it. And I honestly think once I do give myself, I get the confidence to just go for it. I don't think there'll be much stopping me because the amount
have you got kids, Sam?
I haven't at the moment. No, I'm engaged to marry next year, but I haven't got any kids of Eleanor yet.
Well, no one sets you up for that. You work it out.
Oh yeah, and there's never a right time for
I'll
it.
tell you now, I think that's one of the hardest things any
100%.
human being can do.
Yeah.
Most rewarding as well.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it. But most of us are much stronger than we think. And every time we get tested, it's actually it's all for the good reasons.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and I've, you know, personally and professionally, there's been challenges, you know, that I've weathered and, you know, got through and actually come out better, and the business is better and I'm a better person. I think I need to be more comfortable being uncomfortable with the growth of the business.
Absolutely.
You're lovely, by the way, Sam.
Yeah, thanks.
Do you know what? You someone like you is very trustworthy. I can just.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that. I think that is a quality that, you know, and I didn't want to make this about, it was relevant to my growth and the business, and, you know, and I don't want to make it about what I went through when I was younger. But, you know, my dad obviously was an electrician, but I'm the way I am with my clients and the other trades that I work with, because of the 1 year I spent at work with him, and then the 18 years I spent before that growing up, and he was there. So, you know, I am who I am. I'm not like a cutthroat businessman. I know you don't need to be a good businessman, but that's just not who I am. And I want to try and forge my way in growing a business to not be, I know I can't swear, so I won't, but like not to be a bad person with it. I was like, you know, the whole idea, you know, I'm on my 5th apprentice and I'm only 33. I've got my 5th one is going through college at the moment. So I'm a big believer that they are the future as well of my industry. And, you know, and I think that, again, me coming through and being an apprentice is a big thing. And that's just a bit of a nod to my old man, really, that, you know, I never thought I would be on a podcast like this and have the bravery to come on and even do this. If I'm honest, I was very anxious and very nervous about coming on. So, you know,
you've done well, mate. You're amazing.
Very easy to do it.
Where can people find out more information about you, mate, if they're down on the south coast near Bournemouth and they're thinking, do you know what? I've got a massive commercial contract that I need to give out to a nice, trustworthy geezer. He sounds like the fella for me. Where can they find out more info about you, mate?
So we've got Avon Renewables, www.avonrenewables.co.uk, and the same for the electrical business. You know, our social media presence, as I've touched on, it's not great, and you know, it's something that we want to do better. But if, you know, we're not really on the social media scene, and you know, so yeah, websites are the best one for us, and you know, emails are the same and stuff. So yeah, you know,
awesome stuff. Well, thank you for being on, mate. We very much appreciate it, and we wish you well in your ventures moving forwards. Maybe you can reapply to come back on next year, and we can see how you got on when you employed that $4,000 a month electrical contractor, took yourself off the tools, and what happened as a result.
Yeah, sounds good.
Nice one. Cheers, Sam. Thanks for being on the show. Cheers, pal. All the best. Bye now.
Oh, he was lovely.
What a lovely fella. Sam, all the way from Avon. It's at avonelectrical.co.uk.
If I was coaching and consulting, I would take him on.
Would you?
Yeah, I know nothing about that sort of space, but he's a mindset thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's
got all of the minerals.
Yeah.
He's got all the ingredients for the cake. He's just scared to turn the oven on.
Frustrating. Let's do 8 traits of the greats.
Let's do it, indeed. So this is the point of the show where we rate our guests on the 8 traits of great entrepreneurship, and we give them a score. Do they score yay or do they score nay? And out of that, they get a score. A grand total of 8. It's the 8 traits of the greats with my mates. James E makes cakes. Go on.
Starting with the end in mind. No. Nah. Passionate about their cause.
Yes, I think he is.
Untold amounts of resilience.
Yeah.
Well, no. He gave up, didn't he? And he reversed the business.
Yeah, it's true, yeah.
But he's had some tough times. We give him half.
Half a point. Go on then.
Innovate so he doesn't evaporate.
Again, half, I think. He's seen that renewable thing, not fully dived into it.
Commercial awareness.
No, he can't have that, can he?
Relationships with people.
Yes, I think he can have that one.
Master marketeer.
No, he said that himself.
Stay teachable. Yes.
Yes, indeed. Give us the scores on the doors.
2. It's 4.
4 out of 8.
Knock at the door.
Knock at the door. He's got a 4. Nice fella.
Nice fella.
You know, sometimes you have conversations like, if that guy could get out of his own way.
Yeah, I know.
If he could get out of his own way, he'd be dangerous. I wonder why he didn't. You know, he'd done that like 1 year sort of collaborative partnership thing with the mentor. Just keep doing that. Sometimes some people need the carrot, some people need the stick. I think he needs the carrot and a cuddle.
Well, I think it's time.
You know what it's time for, baby. It's time for the business quiz.
It's Jim versus JB on the quiz that's businessy.
Yes, indeedy.
Business knowledge.
And it's fun.
Which one's clever and which one's dumb?
You're to read today, baby.
Let's get quizzy.
Dun, dun.
Okay, we're going to play higher or lower, really. As I asked this question, how much?
I need the cups.
Sorry?
You got the cup and the spoon.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, I just had to press pause here because we've got a bit of an inside joke going on. I've already been fed the answers to the question that you're about to hear in this week's business quiz. Chuds, our producer, has already told me the information. So for the next couple of weeks worth of shows, every time that we play this game, I'm going to beat Jimbo and we're going to see how much we can annoy him. It's a bit of an inside joke. So you're on the inside with us. Shh, keep it quiet.
It's this way round, isn't it, at the moment?
You get the cup. Yeah, I was 0.1 million off last time. So
how much is the electricity bill for the Sphere in Las Vegas every month? Now, those of you that don't know, the Sphere is a architectural marvel, a technological marvel.
It is. It's like the O2 Arena in a bubble.
I saw it being built when I was in Las Vegas.
Oh, did you?
with when I took my wife there. And it's now completed, and I've seen some. Oh, it's just outstanding.
It
and
looks
it's
amazing.
covered in electricity. Very entrepreneurial, very innovative. Covered in sort of a big LED screen that curves round inside and out. I think it's a lot.
It's got to be, hasn't it? It's got to be.
Hopefully they've got solar power.
I was about to say, and they're in the Mojave Desert. So you think
Nevada,
you get
isn't it? Is that what it's called?
Nevada?
Mojave.
Isn't the desert the Mojave in the state of Nevada?
Yeah.
I don't really know. Never been. Okay. Play along if you want to at home. So how much is the electricity bill for the Sphere in Las Vegas every month? By the way, at the time of recording, it is 59 minutes. If you put your comment at 59 minutes, we know you've not cheated. If you comment after a minute and an hour and a minute, we know you're a cheater. Don't do it to yourself. The only person you're cheating is yourself. Come on, put your answers in.
What are you going with?
I reckon. So it's going to be open, 300 days of the year?
No, it's open. That's on every day of the year.
Do you reckon?
No, I know it is.
365. This has changed everything for me.
During the day and in the night. It's on.
So 15,000 for a thought. It's got to be £1 million a month or something, hasn't it? No, maybe not. That's million. I want to say million seems crazy. Half a million.
Yeah,
$500,000, 600 grand a year, 6 mil a year.
My original idea was $150,000 a month.
Oh, it's got to be more than that, isn't it? If it's on, it'll be on from, how long is it dark though, I guess? Yeah. So it's on from probably like 6 in the evening
it's
till.
On when it's dark, because it looks great when it's dark.
Yeah, 6 till 12. It's on 6 hours, 6 hours a day, every day.
On 24 hours a day.
Do you reckon? Is it?
Yeah, you can see it during the day as well. It's amazing.
Okay. Oh, I'm definitely going $500,000. That's only 6 million a year. Surely.
So I'm going 150,000.
I'm going 600. No, sorry, I'll go 550. I'm going 550.
You're the winner.
Yeah.
$450,000 a month. Wow.
450. That's only 50 grand off.
It's equivalent to 8,000 megawatts per hour. I got that completely wrong.
Well, there you go.
Wow.
Should we do the grand reveal?
The grand reveal?
He's got one more. No, of course we have, yes.
What's the grand reveal?
We've got a grand reveal. Another question, but we're going to do it in the grand reveal. That's a good little cliffhanger. Is that an Easter egg, Chuds? Is that classed as an Easter egg? Yes, an Easter egg.
You have to tune into the next episode to find
out what happens next. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please feel free to leave us a 5-star review. We all say it, but you're not doing it. So do it. Come on. Leave us a 5-star review. Or leave some feedback on, or you can leave a comment now in Spotify. Do you know that?
Do you know one thing that we used to say, which I really miss us doing? If you just know one person that our podcast would benefit, please just send it to them.
Yeah.
Just one person.
Help them. Maybe you know
listen to this.
Electrical contractor.
Any of our episodes.
Gift that keeps on giving is free to listen to this. Plug to nothing. Punt to nothing. Ask for nothing. You're not even done Entrepreneurs University. You're not even told them about it. Oh, you still put the advert in the middle?
Yeah,
sorry, no. Yeah, forgot plug. I got nothing out of this. Go join Pod School if you're a podcaster. Thanks. And if you are on YouTube, give us a thumbsy uppy, a like, and give us a subscribe as well. Because we're chasing the main channel. We're chasing the little show's chasing the big show.
Yeah.
106,000 subscribers, isn't it?
I reckon by the time this has gone out, it'll be 110, I reckon, baby.
God, it just keeps on going and going and going, doesn't it? Anyway, thanks for listening. We appreciate you massively. We'll see you on the next one.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks for watching today, gang. I hope you enjoyed the show. Now, look, we're looking for some great businesses to come on the podcast. If you've got challenges, but you're desperate to grow your business and you can't necessarily work out how to do it on your own, you'll be a perfect candidate to come here on the podcast. It's absolutely free to come on the show. Go to my website, jamessinclair.net, and there's a podcast button. Click on the podcast button, fill in the application form, and we'll do our very best to get you on the show and try and grow your business. If you're loving the podcast, make sure you subscribe to the channel by clicking here. And why not give this one a watch? I think you'll like it.